don't know why I decided to wait until 4 in the morning to do this. I'll probably be extra crazy today. Oh look, I didn't start with hello, hello. Feels weird. I had an awesome day today. I woke up at 6:30 in the morning, which was less awesome after a night of uneasy dreams. However, thankfully I did not awake to find myself transformed into a giant cockroach, so that's something. What was I? Yes, we went to Rothenburg ob der Taube today. It turns out I actually got the name a bit mixed up. I thought it was Rothenburg an der Taube, which it's not, so apologies. It is about a 2.5 hour bus trip. And it is the most beautiful city I have ever seen. It's a medieval town. It's a walled town. And it's basically like... So, when you go to tourist locations, like castles, they always have... There's a path that you have to take, generally, and you're not allowed to stray off that path and like go explore. But that's not the case in Rothenburg ob der Taube. You can just go wherever. Like, I spent an hour or so just wandering around on top of the city walls. I also spent several hours shooting bow and arrow because they had a Renaissance festival going on, which it seemed like a semi-permanent affair, though I might be mistaken because it is also Renaissance festival season in the United States. But it was like it made the United States Renaissance festival seem like a paltry imitation, because it was like, oh, so you've got swords and horses, that's cool, we've got those, and also a castle wall right there, a real one. A 1,000-year-old one, and like what? It's just so mind-blowing to me. But yeah, I shot bow and arrow, and it was super awesome. I also learned how to do some sword fighting, and now my hand hurts. Swords are surprisingly heavy. I guess that makes sense. I skipped out on the city tour in the morning thingy to explore on my own, which is when I discovered the archery, which was super cool. I was quite good at it. All those years of watching fantasy films and films about medieval stuff and reading about medieval stuff paid off. I bought Stephanie this. It's a treble clef made out of iron on a pendant. That's good. And then the afternoon sorry, I forgot something. So what I was going with that whole, like, there aren't really, like, you can't go here areas, I was walking around the walls, and I brought a flashlight with me, because if Rory Williams brings a flashlight with him everywhere, if he hadn't brought a flashlight with him, he would have been, pretty screwed in Asylum with Dogs, so... one can never be too careful, and it turned out to be quite useful, actually, because there are a number of places where the walkway I was on, went through a tunnel, or through a tower, and it was very dark, and then there was one place where, there are actually a couple places where I was, inside a tower and, going up stairways, and there was just no light. There were no lights, and I was like, man, if this were the U.S., there would be lights everywhere. Not that we would have castles in the U.S., but if this were a major tourist castle, there would be lights, and there would be do not enter signs, and there would be like ropes blocking stuff off, and there just wasn't any of that. And so I explored, and it was pretty awesome. I'm very tired. I've been up for 22 hours. In the afternoon, I went to the like criminal museum, which was a museum of like law and punishment dating back, not the museum itself, but like punishment dating back into the Middle Ages. And so like the first area was all corporeal punishment, like the rack. There were lots of there were a couple versions of the rack, a lot of stretching things. I was surprised. Thumb screws, naturally. The boot, which is this like iron thing that goes around your leg, and you put wedges of wood in it and hammer them in, and it crushes your leg. Lots of crushing things as well. This thing called the neck violin. I don't remember if that's what it's called in German, except in German, not translated. And it's basically like a pillory, except you carry it around with you in your hands. It's locked like this. There were like scores of those. They were just everywhere. And I was like, okay, that's enough neck violins, guys. Like, whoa, let's show some other stuff maybe. And then the second and third floors were all like law things that were kind of, I couldn't really understand them because they were like in, advanced German, with like law vocabulary, and I was like, I don't want to puzzle that out, because there were like hundreds of them, and I was like, too much, man. But what was interesting was, first of all, there were executioner swords, which was cool, and I also learned how wax seals are made, but not the oh look, I'm sending a letter, boom, wax seal, but oh, this is an official document signed by the king, and here's these tassels, and there's a seal hanging on the bottom. I now theoretically know how to make that. Obviously, I don't actually know how to. It was like, this is how one is made, and I was like, oh, interesting. There's a wooden support, a base for it, which I guess makes a lot of sense, but I hadn't thought of it. And then the last page was like, or not last page, wow, where did that come from? The last bit of it was like more corporeal punishment and like, well, pillories, and gallows, and stuff like that. The other option was to go to the Christmas Museum, but given that it was like 80 degrees outside, I was like, no, it seems weird. And then I went and shot some more bow and arrow, some more arrows, and there was more. What else did I do? I don't remember. Oh, I watched like a melee fight between some of the people. They were all in like armor and had swords, and it was like 1 point for an arm and or a leg, and 2 points for a chest hit, and -1 points for head. You don't want to hit the head, so you don't like take out someone's eye. But that was cool. Yeah, it was a lot of fun, and I watched the new Doctor Who today. It was pretty excellent. I enjoyed it immensely, and that's probably good. I should really get to bed soon. It's 4 o'clock officially now. I've been awake since 6:30. So yeah. All right. Bye.